What's up, YouTube? Once again, you're in the kitchen with Paul. You know, I feel like a lot of videos go by, a lot of video opportunities, I should say, go by, because I just been lazy. What can I tell you? So, what we're gonna do today is we've had a lot of times where we've had uh, leftovers in the refrigerator, and we don't know what to do with them. We don't want to throw them out. I got 3 dogs. My leftovers never get thrown out. But that's not the case. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a frittata. And a frittata is something that you do when you have leftover meats and vegetables and things like that, and you don't want to throw them out. You all put them all in a pan. You scramble up some eggs. You pour the eggs in there and put a little cheese on it, season it up, and you cook it slow. And what comes out is a nice frittata. So that's what we're going to be doing in the kitchen today with Paul. Is we're going to be doing a frittata. Now, these are my ingredients. I got some mushrooms. I got some minced garlic. I'm doing it the easy way with the garlic in the jar. I got some minute steak that I don't feel like I didn't want to throw out. I got some leftover chicken breast that I didn't want to throw out. We got some chopped onions, some potatoes chunked up. We got our eggs. We got some green beans that I cut into smaller pieces so they're bite-sized. And then we got our cheese. Now what I've done is I've gotten Parmesan cheese and I've gotten smoked Gouda. Don't look at my sink. My sink is terrible right now. I haven't cleaned up yet. But those are the cheeses that we have. Smoked Gouda, which is a nice melting cheese, and we have Parmesan. So this is how we're going to do it today in the kitchen with Paul. Frittata. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing that we have to do is we have to warm our pan up. So we put some heat on it. And we get some oil. We're going to put some oil in our pan. And we're going to get our onions started. And throw our onions in the pan. Now you didn't hear that sizzle sound because I didn't wait for the pan to get hot. But you notice I didn't cut the onions up too small. Gonna salt them up. Now they're starting to sizzle. Put some pepper on them. To our onions, we're going to add a heaping teaspoon of garlic. That's going to flavor the oil. We don't want that to cook too fast, so we're going to bring our heat down. And so as not to burn, we're going to add our mushrooms in right now. I'm going to add some more salt, because as you add ingredients in, they're not seasoned before you add them in. So we add our salt and pepper, and that seasons up our mushrooms and our garlic. Okay. Next we're going to add our green beans so they can pick up some of that flavor. Sink. Now we got our potatoes. We add them into the mix. So we're going to add a little salt to our potatoes. So it doesn't get bland. We're going to add some pepper to our potatoes. And basically that's the only spices we're going to be adding to this meal, to this frittata. You want the natural flavor of the onion to come out with the sweetness. You already have some garlic in there. Now let's add our bits of chicken. Toss that in the sink. And our minute steak, as you can see, it's stuck together as it got cold. So we're going to add that in. We're going to allow all this to heat up. Now this chicken and that steak was already seasoned. So we don't have to add any seasoning to that. And just before I add my eggs, scrambling my eggs up, and I'm going to add my cheese to my eggs. You see that? Mix the cheese in there. And I take this entire mixture and I pour it on in. And you want to make sure that you get egg around everywhere. That way it can bind everything. At this point you want to turn your fire down to a low because you don't want this to cook too fast. You don't want to have scrambled eggs on one side and uncooked eggs on the other side. So you slow this down. And see, as you can see, it's all mixed in together. And that egg is what binds everything together. Keep this on a low heat because you want all of the egg to cook, not just the egg on the bottom to start burning up. And just to add a little bit more flavor, sprinkle some cilantro on the top. Look at that. Now that to continue to cook slowly. What I'm doing now is I'm starting my broiler. Because even though it cooks all the way through, you still want to brown the top. Now I have some Mexican blend cheese that I don't want to go bad. It's been sitting in my refrigerator for about a week. So it's almost time for that to start to go bad, so we don't want that to go bad. So we're going to cover the top with this Mexican cheese. And that's going to brown up in the broiler. As you can see, that didn't take a lot of time. And if you look at the sides here, the sides are starting to pull away from the actual pan. When those sides start to pull away from the actual pan, you know this is almost about done. So we open up our oven, as we have our broiler on low. You always want safety, so you gotta put your pot holders on. And you're gonna take this, and you're gonna sit that inside the oven in the broiler. And that's that. 10 minutes, it'll be done. Okay, YouTube, I'm back. Didn't take 10 minutes. It took about 6 minutes for me to, about 6 minutes for me to wash up those dishes. And with the broiler on low, that's how our frittata came out. You got the eggs cooked perfectly. You got the meats and the onions and the mushrooms and everything in there. And that is going to be fantastic. I'm going to allow it to cool a little bit so that I can cut it up into wedges. And then I'm going to have myself a fantastic meal. Okay, let's go in for a piece. Okay. Oh boy. That's how she looks. You got the onions in there. You got the meat in there. Potatoes, egg. Oh boy, it's gonna be good. Okay, YouTube, here we go. The cheese nice and melty on top. It's gonna be hot. Ooh, it's hot. first thing that you taste is that cheese on top. Got a little crunch to the cheese, but then as you get into it, you taste the potato, slightly seasoned, nice. The meat, the steak and the chicken inside of there blend together and they make a nice flavor. The onions are not too overpowering. The egg, you don't even really, you taste the egg, but the egg is overlooked because of everything that's inside of this. The egg is just basically a binder. But this is fantastic. Okay. What do you think, YouTube? This is my frittata. This is something I do with my leftovers. And it's going to be delicious. If you like this, why don't you give me a thumbs up? Better than that, instead of giving me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. And when you subscribe, if you want to know every single time you can be in the kitchen with Paul, click that little bell. And that bell is going to notify you every time that Paul is in the kitchen. All right? Give me a comment. You know, I love it when people comment. Let me know what you want to see in the kitchen with Paul next. All right? I got 3 things that I always tell you at the end of my videos. And this is it. Number 1, first and foremost, always keep God first in your life. Number 2, love your family. Goes without saying. And number 3, you got to love yourself. You've been in the kitchen with Paul. I'm Paul. Peace, y'all.